Friends, let's slow down together for a moment and think about something we all live with every day: our laws. Not the political debates about them, just the simple fact that laws exist at all. Here's a question that is surprisingly easy to overlook: where do laws come from? We sometimes talk as if laws are neutral rules, written by experts somewhere above the noise of everyday life. But if we look more closely, something interesting appears. Every law reflects a moral judgment. Behind every statute is a belief that something is good, something is harmful, something deserves protection, or something must be restrained. Take murder laws. Why do we punish someone who takes an innocent life? Not simply because it creates social disorder. Many things create disorder. We punish murder because we believe human life has inherent value. The law is making a moral statement. Some things should never be done to another human being. Or think about civil rights laws. Why do we insist that people deserve equal protection under the law, regardless of race or background? Because we believe human beings possess a dignity that should not be violated. That idea did not appear randomly in history. It developed over centuries through philosophy, religion, and moral reflection. Many of the leaders of the civil rights movement drew explicitly on biblical language about justice and the equal worth of every person. Consider labor protections. Why do societies create rules against exploitation, unsafe conditions, or unreasonable hours? Because most of us believe that work has dignity and that human beings should not be treated merely as tools. Again, that is a moral claim about what human life deserves. Or take environmental laws. Why do communities decide to protect rivers, forests, or wildlife? Because many people believe the natural world carries a value beyond immediate profit. They believe it deserves care and stewardship. Different people arrive at these beliefs through different traditions. Some come from religious convictions. Others come from philosophical traditions or cultural experience. But in every case, the law rests on a moral vision. So the idea that politics can somehow be completely neutral about morality turns out to be an illusion. The real question societies face is not whether morality will shape public life. It always does. The deeper question is which moral framework will guide it and why. For many Americans throughout history, Christianity has been one of the traditions shaping those moral assumptions. Ideas like the inherent worth of every person, the importance of justice, and the limits placed on power were often explained in language drawn from Scripture. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. appealed openly to biblical concepts when arguing that unjust laws must be corrected. Of course, in a pluralistic society, not everyone shares the same religious beliefs. That reality is part of modern democracy. But citizens inevitably bring their deepest convictions into public discussion, whether those convictions come from faith, philosophy, or cultural tradition. The challenge is learning how to reason together about the common good. That requires honesty about something simple but often forgotten. Our laws will always reflect moral judgments about what kind of society we want to build. Understanding that does not solve every disagreement, but it does help us move past the idea that morality should somehow disappear from public life. Instead, it reminds us that the conversation has always been about something deeper. What do we believe about human dignity? What do we believe requires justice? What kind of moral vision should shape the world our children inherit? Those questions are not going away. And perhaps the healthiest way to approach them is with humility, clarity, and a willingness to reason together. Because the future of any society ultimately depends on the moral imagination of its people.